Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another beginner's guide. The new structure decks for set 10 came out on Friday. So for the next couple days, we're going to be going over the beginner's guides to these structure decks. So whether you're new to Dragon Ball Super or you want to just try out this new Frieza stuff, this video is going to show you the best deck you can build with just two of these Clan of Collusion structure decks. So you just buy two of them, it's a $20 investment, and you're going to be able to construct this deck that I go over in the video. I'm also going to go over how you can pretty cheaply improve the deck with just a few common, uncommon, easy to acquire cards. There are more cards you can add to the deck. I do have a mono green Frieza deck profile on the channel that is a very competitive version. Definitely costs a lot more, but if you want to play a more competitive version, you can check that out. I'll link it in the description below. But as far as a beginner's guide, this is going to be the video you need with just two structure decks. Guys, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. If you want to help support the channel, there are many free ways to do that during these trying times. You can always like the video, maybe share the video, maybe watch an ad, and if you want to buy or pre-order any of the cards you see in today's video, you can always use my link in the description to TCG Player. With that being said, let's get right on into this video. So we're starting off with the leader. The leader is very powerful, even though it's restrictive. So permanent, you can't include sand cards in your deck. Again, it is restrictive, but not too much of a detriment. The cards you can play in this deck are still very powerful, especially for hand and board control. So auto, choose one Frieza army card in your battle area and place it in the owner's drop area. When this card attacks a leader card, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and discards it. Then you can add up to one card from life to your hand. So the self-awakening there is very important. You actually want to get flipped over as fast as possible, and I'll explain that in a second. So awaken when life's 4 or less, draw one card, then switch up to one of your energy to active mode and flip this card over. Auto, when this card attacks, draw one. Activate main once per turn. Choose one Frieza army card in your battle area, place it in the owner's drop area. Choose one card in your opponent's hand, discard it, then choose up to one of your green Unison cards, and it gains critical for the turn. So your front side's already pretty good, making your opponent discard cards and getting you awakened, but your backside is just straight value town. Attacking and drawing, picking a random card out of your opponent's hand to discard, which can always be very impactful, more so than just letting your opponent discard their worst card, and then giving a Unison crit. All that is just so much good text on this card. It's very good. You want to get awakened as fast as possible. So right off the bat, we go over the staples. You're going to play 4 super combos no matter what. If you're brand new to Dragon Ball Super, you're going to play 4 super combos. The effects on these cards are so good. They have a super combo tag that says you can only include 4 super combos in a deck, no more. So for this one, for example, if your leader is green, your life's a 4 or less, when you use this card in a combo, draw one. It is a free 10k combo, which isn't the easiest thing to come by if you're brand new to the game. In this deck, this card is also searchable, which makes it even better. We're playing 4 Shocking Death Ball. This is the negate they're including in the deck, and it's a very good negate to include. Sparking 5 is not very difficult to get to, and you don't really play overwhelm in this deck, so your drop area is always going to be there. And like I said, getting awakened is really important. So sometimes using the sparking just to take life and get flipped is very important. Popping a 2 or less, definitely very good as well. So this is the Unison. The name of the game in set 10 is Unisons. This is really the whole engine of the deck revolves around this Unison card. It's very important to see it early. So let's give it a read. Frieza Xeno, Darkness Overflowing. It is a 2 specified green Unison, meaning you have to pay a minimum of 2 green for this card, but you can pay more energy. The more energy you pay for it, the more counters it will have when you play it. So activate main, +1 counter. Choose one card in your hand, discard it, then draw one card. So you do get some card cycle there, but there is a very strong loop we'll talk about in a second. But just keep in mind that's the effect you're going to use most of the time. Activate main, -1 marker. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards when energy costs 4 or less and KO it. Then choose up to one of their Unison cards, or choose up to one of their Unison cards and remove a marker from it. So you have Unison removal and you have battle card removal, which is very powerful. And the Unison card removal part, removing markers, is very rare. So definitely a good benefit of this card. Now moving on to the low cost cards you got to play in this deck. Your leader requires you to sacrifice Frieza army cards, so you got to play a lot of low cost Frieza army cards. So Dodoria, Frieza's Devoted Servant. In my opinion, this is the best one in the deck, and I will explain why. So it's a 1-drop 4k auto. If your leader card is a green Frieza card and you have a green Unison card in play, if this card is placed in your drop area from your hand by a skill, you may place this card from your drop area into the battle area. So with that Frieza Xeno we just read, you play this when you discard it. So that's literally free value. Instead of turning the Frieza into a cycle, you're turning the Frieza into a hard plus. Dodoria comes onto the board, and then you can use your leader effect to sacrifice it to make your opponent discard cards. Very, very strong there. Activate main, pay a green. If your leader card is a green Frieza card and you have a green Unison card in play, add this card from your drop area to your hand. Now keep in mind, both those effects require you to have your Unison in play, but that's not very difficult to get. And when you can continuously recycle Dodoria, so after turn 2, you pay a green, add it back to your hand, then you use your Xeno effect to discard it, play it, leader effect, kill it again, you rinse and repeat. It's very, very good. And if you're playing against hand control, again, keep in mind that you can play this when your opponent makes you discard it as long as you have the Unison in play. So that is very, very good. Zarbon, Frieza's right hand man. It's another 1-drop. Again, you want to have a lot of low cost Frieza army cards. Auto, when this card is played, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 green Unison card with specified cost of 2, or 1 green Frieza army card with energy cost of 4 or less among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. So this searches our Unison. It also searches our other Frieza army cards. This is what I mentioned when I was talking about how the super combo is searchable. This card can search that, but a lot of times if you don't have it, you will always want to grab your Frieza Xeno. So activate battle, pay a green. If your leader card is a green Frieza card and you have a green Unison card in play, and you send this card from your drop area to your warp, choose one of your leader cards or Unison cards, and it gets plus 10,000 power for the battle. Very, very good effect, especially defensively. If your opponent's putting a lot of pressure on you and you have excess energy, any Zarbon in your drop area is a 10k combo. That's very, very, very good. Ginyu, Frieza's greatest soldier, 2-drop 15k auto. When this card is played, choose up to one of your leader cards or green Unison cards, gets plus 10,000 power for the turn. This is especially good when you give your Unison cards crit with your leader's awakened side. Auto, if your leader card is a green Frieza card, when this card is placed in the drop area from a battle area by a skill, you may return this card to the owner's hand. So you can play it, attack with it, boost one of your Unisons or your leader, then you can use your leader to sacrifice it and then add it immediately back to your hand. So again, on the awakened side of your leader, that is straight value town. Very, very good. Next up, we're talking about the yellow cards in the deck. So the deck does come with yellow. My mono green competitive version of this deck is obviously mono green. I don't think the yellow is the best way to play the deck, but in the structure deck, it's what they give you, and you can definitely make use of it. Now, it's a 9-card yellow engine, which is actually pretty good because we don't want to charge yellow early. You do not want to charge yellow turn 1 in this deck. You want to charge yellow turn 3, and really, you only need 1 yellow. So with this in mind, you can charge a turn 3, and then you can use all these different cards later on. So we have the 1 Cold Bloodlust. This card is at 1 on the ban and limited list. If you guys didn't know, if you're new to the game, you can only play 1 Cold Bloodlust. It is a super powerful card. Counterplay, if your leader card is a Frieza army, the battle card played has its skills negated for the duration of the turn. No other card or archetype really has a card like this. It's very powerful. They put it to 1 so you can play your 1 copy. Frieza's Call, 1-drop extra card, activate main, choose 1 Frieza army card with energy cost of 2 or less from your deck, and play it in rest mode, then shuffle your deck. So all the different green Frieza army cards we just read, you can fetch them with Frieza Call. Avenging Frieza, auto, when you play this card, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 Frieza army among them with energy cost 2 or less, and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So this deck is ultra consistent, ultra fast, because everything searches itself, everything searches each other, and then your leader just kind of picks them off to rip your opponent's hand apart, which is very, very good. So Frieza Call, turn 3 and onward is very good. Also nice that for 1 energy you get out your 2-drops. It does bring them in rest mode, but you can still use them with your leader and you can still get their search effects, which is very nice. So a few more green cards are playing. Dodoria the Cold-Blooded, 1-drop 5k auto, add 1 card from life to your hand. When this card attacks, gets plus 10,000 power and double strike for the turn. I talked about this in the Vegito video. This type of card is very, very powerful this format. For 1, game ending purposes, obviously it's a 15k double strike. For 2, fighting Unisons, especially if you go first, going into your turn 3, your opponent has probably tapped out for their Unison, and it will probably have 3 markers on it because they'll probably use the +1 effect. So attacking that Unison with the Dodoria gets rid of 2 markers. Then ideally you'll have another way to get rid of another marker, which is very, very good. Frieza Terrifying Transformation, again, keep in mind this is able to be brought out off of Frieza Call, so you can bring it out for 1. Frieza Terrifying Transformation, 2-drop 15k auto. When this card is removed from battle area by an opponent's skill, draw 2, so they get punished for killing this thing by skills. Activate main, pay a green, choose up to 1 green Frieza card with energy cost of 4 in your hand or drop area, and play it on top of this card in active mode. The 4-drop we're playing, Frieza Cosmic Horror, 4-drop 20k dual attack, so again, great for attacking Unisons. Auto, when this card's played, choose 1, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, or choose one of your opponent's using cards and remove a marker from it. So this combination of cards for 2 energy by itself removes a Unison with 3 markers on it. So that's very, very good. You definitely want to include it in the pure structure deck version. Next up, we're playing a little bit of a cool combo here. So 1-star ball, parasitic darkness, 0-drop, extra card, permanent. This card gains Dark Dragon Ball in all areas. Activate battle, choose one of your cards. It gets plus 5,000 power for the battle, so it's not a clunky extra card. You can kind of combo with it. Activate main, choose one Frieza card with energy cost of 4 in your battle area and place this card under it. Play up to 1 green Frieza Xeno card in your deck or hand on top of the chosen card in active mode, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. Our Frieza Xeno is Frieza the Power Monger. 4-drop, 15k, deflect unique, so your opponent can't really stop it from coming out unless they have a specific type of counterplay. Auto, if your opponent has 3 or more energy, when this card's removed from a battle area by a skill or KO'd, that does include your leader effect, add up to 1 green extra card with energy cost of 1 or less from your drop area to your hand. So that's pretty cool. It can recycle your negates if it gets removed. Activate battle, pay a green and 2 colorless. This card gets plus 15,000 power and double strike for the battle. So you bring out the 2-drop Frieza for 1 yellow with Frieza Call. You bring out the next Frieza on top of that for 1 energy. And then you can play this for 0 energy, and then the activate battle is a 3 energy. So that's kind of like a 5 energy win condition that actually cycles you through a lot of cards and gets a lot of effects off. You get the 4-drop Frieza's effect, and then you get this 4-drop Frieza Xeno's effect, which is very powerful. So that's the 52 card main deck. Now I want to talk about some cards you can add to the deck to make it a little bit more powerful for very, very cheap. So Dark Death Ball is a rare coming out in set 10. It is a counterplay if you have a green Unison card in play. If the battle card being played is energy cost of 4 or less, it's placed in the owner's drop area instead of being played. Then choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 1 and KO it. Permanent, if all your energy is mono green, you can activate this card counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by choosing 2 other cards in your hand and discarding them. That will actually trigger your Dodoria, so you can play the Dodoria onto the field, so the discard cost is not actually that costly if you have the correct stuff. So very, very good card, a rare to add from set 10. Infernal Emperor Frieza, I mentioned how important it is to get awakened very quickly. When you play this card, choose a card in your life and add it to your hand. He is a Frieza armor you can sacrifice with your leader. Perfect synergy there. Chilai, Frieza Force Soldier. 1-drop, when you play this card, draw 1. You don't really care about the activate main. It's just a 1-drop Frieza army that draws you a new card, lets you see a new card. So if you wanted to get rid of the yellow engine, you could easily put these cards in there and make up for that, and then play a mono green deck. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time.